Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 6 of NAST, the final week here in North American Strikers Training Ground. I'm Lego Mage here with Frying Pan Man, and we're going to bring you the last streamed match of the season, Power of Friendship versus Cyberswipe here. Looks like we've already got our character draft set up. And Frying Pan Man, how you feeling about this series tonight?
It's nasty, y'all, and it's about to get nasty because these two teams are bringing it with all they've got. I believe, the very least, Cyberswipe, if they can win this match, they'll make it to the playoffs. There are some big stakes here for these teams. Starting off, though, we're going to be going to the map pick of Friendship, which is going to be Night Market, and along with these very powerful awakenings of Extra Special and Hotshot, a lot of abilities, a lot of core speed going to be moving around here with these teams.
Yeah, hot shot start. Definitely interesting. We did see the rune get banned out there, but the Juno, surprisingly enough, ended up making it through, and that got first picked by Cyberswipe. They do have Expo and Zoe the Witch both on that roster, so either one of them gonna be picking that one up, probably in the midfield role. But meanwhile, looks like Power Friendship going for a little bit more of a classic build. We see the Era X, but we also see the Zen get locked in. So this is looking like either an insane Zentaro goalie, or I think more likely an Era goalie, and then just like double brawler, kind of a night market classic. Though we haven't seen too much of that with the Zentaro X. It's usually like Asher or Juliet there. So kind of interesting what Power Friendship is going for here on a bit of an unusual start, but that Happy Star I think will definitely help them out quite a lot with the X Maximus and the NATO. So we'll have to see how they're able to play it out here in Game 1.
I am also interested. I mean, some of these players I've met through queues. I know what they've got going. If anyone, I'm most familiar with Tanky, just because I've played with him quite a bit, who is going to be the sub included on the Power of Friendship roster. So, trying to make use of those brawler talents that they are known for, along with Sero going in. I would love to see the X just do some rampaging on the night market. That's a pretty classic power there. No Mako with Cyber seeing what they are going for, although with Weston's Mako goalie, that is not too much of a surprise.
Yeah, and it's like we're readying up here pretty shortly. But let's see, hold up. I'm trying to look if I can see the. Oh yeah, there's the map draft. So it was Power Friendship's map pick for Night Market. Cyber picked Tycho for Game 2, and then Game 3 is going to be over on Clarion Corp here. So if we do get a Game 3, nothing particularly insane. Some pretty standard issue maps, but it's just interesting to see Power Friendship. They're choosing this map and they're running this comp. They clearly have an idea of what they want to look for. This smells like they have a plan with this double brawler here, and well, we'll find out in just a minute here as we're going to get our characters locked in. Looks like it's going to be an Asher brawler for Cyberswipe. It's actually going to be assertive on the Juno goalie, which will be kind of interesting. A lot of forward momentum here, and that hotshot's going to be helping out quite a lot to keep the core on Power Friendship's side.
I mean, if anything, the Cyberswipe's roster is a bit more balanced, but they've got a lot better core control, having 3 separate characters with creations. Albeit you don't really think of Ash as a creation character, but still, once she gets the big shield out, it can do quite a bit. Compared to Power of Friendship, they're coming in with a much more aggressive comp. That's very powerful here on something like Night Market. And like you said, I think both teams have a good idea of what they're going for here, but it's just going to be dependent on whether Power Friendship can just land those kills early, play off the power play, or if they are going to be hit around by the abilities of Cyberswipe.
And everyone here going for that Happy Star start, except for Assertive, makes sense. I would have expected the Asher to go for Hot Shot here as well, but Zoe the Witch opting for the Happy Star, just like everybody else. Sero, though, interestingly enough, picking up the Vambrace start on the Zentaro. No slicks, no wand, just full lifesteal for this brawler. So we'll have to see that's going to pay out for them or not, but right now it's barriers down for the side of Power of Friendship early on in this first point. Cero trying to even up the score a little bit, will be able to do so. A flip on the goal line, a bull rush comes through, it's a double KO, but they're still looking for the point here. Tanky McTanky went insane with that X Maximus and will be the one to pick up the point as well. Power Friendship going to start off swinging in this match.
And swinging they do, both figuratively and literally. Again, those kills just give you so much value. And with Night Market really threading people onto the sides, you need to find those opportunities. Granted, that was back in the goal line at this time. But hey, the goal line is just another edge. If you can make use of it, you can really bring the heat.
Absolutely, and a bit of a mispass there from Zoe the Witch. Sent it right to Tanky, who just lays waste to that final barrier and sinks it for the point. So now Power of Friendship up 2-0, pulling out the Ball and Ballers little Congo line power walk there at the end. In a very comfortable position to possibly just take this first set.
Well, they're making their map pick work, I'll tell you that much. Unfortunate little hit there is going to lead to a barrier gone, and the resources on Cyberswipe are going to give a nice advantage, albeit that flip not going to work out too well. Going to be a barrier drop on both sides. A bit of an advantage here so far for Power Friendship trying to find a way up. But both teams finding their ways through, finding the chances to get to the barrier, and we're stuck at a bit of a stalemate. Although Zoe the Witch immediately changing that up to bring the goal open for Power of Friendship. Although, well, we've seen them get out of it before, and with flips coming up here, it's going to be difficult.
And the final point, getting stuffed in there once again. Tanky McTanky coming up big on the points here. Going to be the MVP from All Out XP. We'll see what shows up in the draft. We got Perfect Form, Egoist, both rearing their ugly heads as possible first picks. We also see a couple sparks show up on the board. Looks like Tanky actually going to go for the built different here on the X. A little bit surprising, I think, when Perfect Form is on the board. It's such a strong awakening, and that will end up falling to Assertive instead. Egoist still going to remain up as its Spark of Resilience here for Cero. Not even going for the peak performance. That's going to go to Expo Chan instead in prime time on Weston. And Egoist going all the way to last pick for Zoe the Witch. Kind of a crazy draft there. That Tanky and Cero both had the option for Egoist, and Tanky had the option for Perfect Form, and they opted for size and a spark. I gotta say, I think that's really conservative item picking there.
Well, we'll have to see if whatever they have planned works out, although early on, Cyberswipe going to get a nice lead. Tanky is going to get a KO there, which is great, but Expo-chan going to take advantage of that free space to move the core through. Cyberswipe already retaliating with a nice 1-0 advantage into this set.
And another quick barrier here, off kickoff for Expo-chan. As Cyberswipe look to fight their way back here in this set too. It's going a little bit better for them so far, but now Tanky on the offense. Pops the X Maximus, 2 flips to work with it. Cero to burn it, picks up the KO, but the core not quite in just yet. Cero looking for another chance, pass to Tanky, sinks to the top. Flip on the line for fun and some insurance. That was probably not necessary, but Power Friendship will get it done and tie it up in 1-1.
Well, better to use it than lose it, I suppose. Honestly, if you showed me this gameplay and told me that Power of Friendship was running Catalyst at the start, I would have believed you, because they are really getting those flips so quickly, and just, I feel like they initially have like a decent advantage going, but then suddenly both Cero, both Tanky have flipped. They're already moving up, and it's just, what can you even do at that point?
And see the magical Maelstrom coming out here, but Weston gonna lose Zoe the Witch with a chance here. Weston making a nice save, hitting it back into the Firewall Sentry here, but it's too much pressure. Zoe the Witch able to chase down the core and put the second point up now for Cyberswipe. Set point here as both teams doing the ball and baller shuffle right now. But Assertive with the flip available does mean that Cyberswipe are in a pretty good spot to potentially seal out the set. They start off with barrier off a kickoff as well.
Very momentum heavy. Both teams now finding their footing, unlike the previous game where it just felt like Power of Friendship just had such an overwhelming advantage. But now with the core being put into some of those free spaces, Cyberswipe making bigger advantage, especially with the Juno hotshot there from Assertive, finding those chances to move the core along, and also dealing some damage to Tanky while they're at it, although both teams taking quite a bit of damage here. Tanky and Zoe gonna have to watch out with their stackers.
Tanky out of the play for just a bit here. Zoe the Witch with a nice flip combo will pick up the KO onto the Brawler. And now it's a power play for Cyberswipe. Slime going for the shot, but Weston able to make the save. Ball, though, in Assertive's court. Not going to have anyone to pass to, though. Zoe the Witch had to fall back to get the orb to not die. And Tanky now back online, picks up the second barrier. Glitch pop here from Expo Chan. Doesn't quite connect. They still have it in the corner, though. Assertive jumping in, has the slime to get it past Tanky. And it will be Cyberswipe taking the second set and tying up the game now. 1-1. Zoe the Witch going to be the MVP.
Mind you, Assertive is not running Eject Button Juno here. That is Momentum Boots Juno. They jumped in, they felt the call of the goal, the smell of the goal, and just took the chance. And hey, it worked out. Going into Awakenings here, Knife's Edge, pretty clear pickup for Zoe here to stay on top, as well as Tanky with Fight or Flight. Both standard picks for their respective characters. A bit of creations going around. The Deadeye pick from the Juno is going to play out very interestingly with that hot shot, as well as the projectile damage in general. That might mean Tanky and Sarah are going to have to watch out their stagger a bit more than they had to before.
Fight or Flight ends up being a pretty nice pick here for Tanky. Not as loaded of a draft as we saw last time, but still some good items coming out, mainly on the Brawlers there. And of course, Sarah going to pick up some dash range, which is going to bring a lot more combos online for this Centauro. Now, Power Friendship, though, down on their barriers and looking to make a play to get some of their own here. Sarah able to pick up one. Tanky bringing it into the corners, going to beat the Firewall Sentry and pick up a second one. Weston trying to make the save on the rebound, but can't get there in time. The goal credited to Expo Chan. And, I mean, I think the Hotshot Slimes may have played a little bit of a part in that. I'm not entirely sure. But that core is just moving at light speed. Even with Mom Boots, Weston couldn't catch up to it.
It's really hard to tell. There was just a bit too much dressing on that salad to make out the ingredients, and already going to be both barriers and the goal taken from Power of Friendship. Cyberswipe has seemed to find it. Power Friendship's very momentum-heavy comp, looking to press the offense as hard as they can when they get it. It worked out initially, but it seems to be lagging behind a little, even with the decent Awakening pick so far. They'll have to find a bit of a different footing to try and take that advantage back if they can.
Now it's the offense here for Cyberswipe. Not going to be able to get any barriers off of that here, as we see Sarah running quite fast with that Fight or Flight. There's 2 flips available, but Tanky is quite hurt on the Power of Friendship's sideline here. Sarah popping the flip, getting chunked though by that Firewall Sentry. Zoe the Witch picks up a KO onto Tanky. Sarah almost getting taken out as well there, but the power play for Cyberswipe is definitely going to be something to contend with here. Zoe the Witch bringing down one barrier. Second one falls as well. Weston burns the flip a little bit early there, but both barriers are still lost. And now Zoe the Witch dribbling up the field. Dodges the Magical Maelstrom. Core flip from Expo. It gets blocked by Weston, who dies on the way out. And now Expo Chan with another chance with the Firewall Sentry. Tanky can't defend against all 3. Brawler in the net. Not able to beat the entire team. I mean, clearly that's a skill issue, right? But Cyberswipe will take the set 3-0.
Well, it's tough when you lose your goalie. I feel like it's hard to say. I understand what Power Friendship went for with a very aggressive comp, but it is just very difficult when the other team scales. And I do wonder how much of it was due to Awakening picks. You kind of commented on this earlier. It felt like they really gave a lot of those somewhat better Awakenings to Cyberswipe in that first part. And I'm not saying that really changed the game entirely, but it could have been that little push that tipped the comp from working to not quite working. That it might be hard to recover from.
Now 1-2 punch here for this Asher. Definitely solid pickup. And Sarah managing to pick up a second spark, though, is nothing to scoff at either. That's just some more stagger, some more survivability to hopefully stay alive here. Tanky McTanky once again going to town on these barriers here, but as both sides are opened up, Weston a nice pass to Tanky, gonna have to do it again with from the shot from Expo, and now Sarah with the double dash up, but Assertive able to jump back and save that one. Goalie's holding it down. Core flip from Expo Chan's gonna get blocked away, and now Zoe the Witch though pushing up the field. Expo with the shot blocked by Weston. And now Oni's blade in the top side, but it goes a bit backwards here. Core flip from Zoe the Witch, a shot straight through Tanky and sinks it to the top side. Weston not able to get there quite in time. That's another point here for Cyberswipe as they continue to grind this team down. It was a little rough in that first set, but ever since then, they have just been in flow state.
Honestly, Weston really held there early on. Also, incredible start here. Not going to get the flip out, but Cero is going to already lead to the double barrier. And with the offense continuing, we may see an initial goal here for this set for Power of Friendship. But Weston really held there, and it's just difficult once the resources come in. Even if you're good, you're just stuck having to guess against that RPS. And again here, going to be difficult against the IME neutral as the goal is going to be taken away. Power of Friendship going to have to dig in, find something deep here to try and not lose their map pick.
4 flips coming up kind of across the board here. We see a big kickoff, a lot of ults getting expended there, but no barrier is going to fall quite for either side. Assertive looks to rotate the core back around. Expo Chan capitalizing. He's going to get one barrier here. Baits out Weston's flip, earns a flip of her own, and picks up the second one. And now Zoe the Witch dribbling up the field has the flip available. Pass here from Assertive. Core flip burnt by Zoe the Witch. Weston with the Soren angle. What a reaction to save that one. Now core flip pass from Assertive into the Firewall Sentry. Tanky on the defense here, trying to get it out of there and time the glitch pop, but Tanky is there covering the top side, and it will be safe for the time being. Assertive once again trying to force this past Arrow, and will be enough with the slime, sending that at Mach speed to the top corner, and it will be a Cyberswipe victory here for game 1.
Honestly, I can't tell if it was the slime on that last hit or the unfortunate hit from the X rotational move. There was just a few too many hits in that one. But either way, in the midst of the chaos, Cyberswipe going to be coming back with a 3-1 victory in the first game. A very nice advantage to be able to take the map pick of your opponent. And from there, we are going to be going on to the second game soon enough with Cyberswipe's pick of Taiko Temple.
Yep, and I clicked off the stats screen too early, so I can't read that, but it's fine. There we go. It's on the stream, but yeah, Cero, quite a bit of damage, but yeah, I mean, Cyberswipe really came out swinging after that first set. Tanky put up a really solid performance in that first one, but I can't help but think that there was a couple early draft questionable decisions that kind of led to too much speed, too much rotation to getting over to Cyberswipe. Of course, that hot shot helped out quite a lot for Assertive to be able to rotate the core back around the field so quickly. And kind of, you know, the weakness of Aragoli is once they get up in your face, things start to fall apart. And with a comp like Asher, Juno, Aimee, and getting the awakenings they got, and of course just playing well together, they were able to make that happen quite significantly past that first set. So good showing there from Cyberswipe. But now, yeah, moving on to game 2, Taiko Temple. It was their map pick. I'd be curious to see what changes up here end up happening in the draft, but I think we can say, well, actually, I don't know what to say really, because I mean that was Night Market and it kind of allowed Aragoli to get played here, but I imagine we're not going to be seeing that again. So we did see the Mako get banned out last game though by Cyberswipe, so I wonder if they're going to continue down that route, force Weston to play something else, or if they're going to go a different direction.
I wouldn't be too surprised. Mako is pretty powerful on Taiko if you know what you're doing, but you're really going to want to dig in. Like, Aragoli just doesn't work as well on Taiko because you need a goalie who can cover all of the fast angles that the map will send the core at. You know, not even including whatever the characters are even doing. Just having the drums there is such a threat, and you need to be able to account for that. I want to see if Friendship has a more balanced comp planned this time. They've tried to play off the night market. It didn't work out quite as well as they'd hoped for. I wonder if they're going to get a bit more of that midfield forward action, or if they're going to try something unique again to try and force it through, and maybe even work better this time for them, depending on what they want to try.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, I think, for sure. I mean, Power Friendship started out very hot in that first set, but it really all started to fall apart when Cyberswipe got their footing. So I feel like that's a bit of a pattern that we have seen with Power Friendship, where they kind of start out good, but then either the other team sort of adapts, or they just kind of lose the momentum throughout the game, and it sort of ends up in a bit of a flop. So it's gonna be interesting going into what's gonna be kind of their final well, I guess, yeah, their final series of the season, if they're going to continue kind of looking like that, or if there'll be a bit of a glow up to go here. Because I mean, we see flashes from this team. We see the flashes. It just hasn't been, I think, as consistent as we would like it to. But I'm pretty sure they've already been eliminated from the playoffs. Cyberswipe does have a chance if they win here, and Corpse Control, I think, loses their series. So it's really kind of a meaningless game for Power Friendship here, but it does matter quite a bit for Cyberswipe.
Well, hey, I mean, yeah, it's good to have those moments, but you just need to keep them going. They had the KOs early on, but it's like once the other team has the ability to not only get the core away from you, but to get it away from you quickly, and then just like throw a bunch of abilities on you. It felt like Tanky was taking quite a bit of the damage that game, and that's pretty common when you have an X forward taking it. But it's just difficult to recover sometimes when all of the other characters have some form of, like, I guess, midfield Okizeme, whatever you want to call it, that they can run. And once they had that going, Friendship just unfortunately didn't have a response. But either way, even if they can't make the playoffs, Friendship still might want to make their voices heard here to, show that it isn't just a flash in the pan for them. Looks like bans are starting.
All right, take a look at this. Looks like it's going to be the Rune Band out once again. This time by Cyberswipe, and or other way around. Whatever. I don't know. I don't remember what it was last time. They switched sides, I think. Maybe. I don't know. They didn't switch sides in game. But yeah, Cyberswipe going to ban the Rune. Power Friendship going to ban the Mako here. On the size, Spark Start. Spark Start's always interesting because someone's got to take it just to take it. But size, of course, very versatile, as we see the Asher, the Kazan, both getting first pick here. Both very good size characters. Friendship gonna be the ones to pick away the Asher this go around. They don't want to see Zoe the Witch on that, but it looks like it's gonna be Kazan pick instead, as well as a Kai, which could be on either the midfield or the goalie role. Not entirely sure here. This team has shown that they can be a little bit flexible with some of the midfield picks. I'm just waiting on the double pick here for Power of Friendship, but so far, I like the Kazan Kai from Cyberswipe, which is the way that they play. It seemed good. And Rasmus Luna is really interesting because Luna is kind of not very good on this map because there's a giant thing in the center that blocks a lot of flight. So definitely interesting pick here from Power Friendship, especially on a stagger start where you're not going to be doing as much damage. But the Rasmus, of course, is going to be good with the size. I imagine it's Luna goalie. They're doing the double brawler sort of thing again with Rasmus midfield. And it looks like Aimi going to come out as a final pick here for Cyberswipe. And that just might be Expo Chan on midfield. So it might just be a Kai goalie here. But yeah, I'm curious, Ryan Panda, what are your thoughts on these comps? Because certainly a little bit interesting.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay, like you kind of mentioned, Power Friendship is. If you're right and it is the Luna goalie, yeah, they're going for the same idea again with Double Brawler. If anything, it's like I don't even know if it's more or less effective on this map because the benefit of it is that you have a bigger thing in the middle than you do in Night Market, and also the corners are really powerful in Tycho. So once you get the core stuffed in there, especially if it's like Asher Rasmus, I mean, it's very difficult to get it out, especially if you're not running like Dubu or Atlas or something. Imi probably could. If it's Imi goalie, I guess I could see it. But either way, this is difficult. And then the downside, though, is like I mentioned before, you have the drums moving the core around really quickly. If they do get it past, the core is immediately going to go back to Weston side. Um, and then you would be stuck fighting that, on the other hand, really quickly, as long as the other forwards are positioned there. Although it looks like, luckily, I would say, considering it's this map for friendship's sake, it is not the Luna goalie coming out here. It'll be Asher goalie on with Weston and Sero running Rasmus, Tanky running Luna, which I was initially going to say before you mentioned Luna goalie, just because I know Tanky plays the Luna. Also, whoa.
Yeah. Luna midfield. I don't know if actually that's better or worse on this map. I mean, just having that big center thing, it just kind of limits what Luna can do in general. But notably here, Expo and Zoe the Witch both went for Vicious Vambrace. They do not want to get staggered this game, it looks like. And Assertive also rocking the eject button. Kai here, notably. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. We got 2 sparks over on the side of Power of Friendship, and only 1 from Cyberswipe. But the possibility, of course, for size scaling is always present on both sides, and that stagger start is definitely going to be helping out quite a bit. So I think the real question is how much damage can Tanky, like, really do, or rather, not how much, but how effective can that damage actually be in getting those on, you know, in this scenario, really.
It's also going to be pretty dependent on what Weston's going to do here because, I mean, Luna midfield's great at the damage, but very difficult to play that defensive game with. Granted, Weston is running Asher here. Great patience there, but not enough to save the barrier. So you are going to have a bit more of a chance here than you would with someone like Era. But either way, Flip's coming out. Goals open on both sides. Tanky getting a good break there with the ult. It does mean that the power play is coming out, although against Kazan Kai, it's going to be difficult to really find an opening.
And the KO's getting traded, but now Weston with the core. Zoe the Witch a pass down to Expo Chan, who has the firewall sentry set up. Weston able to hold. Zoe the Witch bounce off the center. The Kazan hook to juke out the midfielder and goalie to sink it right in. Cyberswipe will be starting off strong here as they'll bring it to set point right now. And Assertive still has her core flip available, which is quite strong. We'll just have to see how this continues going. Cyber have gotten a couple KOs so far onto Sero, and looks like they may be able to continue doing that. It could be really huge to beat a KO comp by getting KOs.
Well, if anything, we're just going to have to see the KOs come out on the other way for Power Friendship to gain a bigger chance here. Flip going to be burned, not going to lead to anything, but Weston is going to get a lucky break. Sero going to move through and open up both barriers, meaning again we're at an open goal, but with how fast the core moves here, and you have to deal with this incredible setup by Expo Chan with the flip to bait out that strike shot. Well, that was a fairly decisive win here. We're already coming in with the 3-0 start off for Cyberswipe.
Yeah, Spark showing up on the board, but Fight or Flight I think is the real prize here, as Zoe the Witch did not take a Spark. Actually going to go for the Demolitionist to get that double size on Kazan and the cooldown, so that's pretty good here. Here will be Weston picking up that second Spark, the cooldowns for the Asher goalie. Twin Drive going over to Expo Chan. Happy Star on the Luna and Fight or Flight, making it all the way to the bottom, where Sero is going to be the one to pick it up. Assertive going for the stacks instead. Expo going for the Twin Drive is kind of interesting. I would have expected the Fight or Flight to go there to the Imi, but We'll have to see if that ends up paying off or not. I guess you get more blinks, but Fight or Flight is just so good, especially when you're able to dish out damage and are going to be taking damage. You get both parts of the ability pretty consistently, and now it's Sero who's going to be kind of zooming.
Well, either way, though, despite the zoom in, Expo-chan and Zoe going to grab a really nice double here. They're really looking for those kills. I guess they feel fairly dependent on them, and that's not a bad thing to go for, but you have to be careful with what that leaves the other team able to do. Assertive and Expo-chan already moving up. An incredible pass up there, and again, the setup here is going to bait out that strike shot, going to move it through, and Cyberswipe getting a very nice goal there. The Ball and Ballers coming up yet again.
Kickoff here. Sero going to be bringing down that first barrier. They look for potentially some more here, but Tanky quite hurt. Damage coming in. The Aimi Expo-chan able to pick up the KO here. Weston with an insta-flip to defend, but it's a power play for Cyberswipe. They're going to look to bring down some barriers now of their own. They're going to pick up one, but that's going to be about it as Tanky is back online here. The core flips across the board as that energy is starting to stack up. Core flip from Expo right on the barrier. It's going to get cut down. Zoe the Witch going for the goal here, but all three members of Power Friendship able to come back and defend. Glitch pop here, blocked by the core flip from Sero, but Assertive pushing up with the flip of her own. Sends it to Tanky, though, on the bottom side. Trying to force it back up to this Rasmus. Meanwhile, Zoe the Witch waiting with the flip available to get it rotated back around. Uses it to KO Weston. Just okeying that guy. And popped the flip for the KO. And the core just float right in. Cyberswipe going to go up 2-0 now on set point. Creative use of that ability for sure.
It's really a shame, too, for Power Friendship, because in the midst of that KO happening, Sero went up and won like a 2v1 interaction purely with strikes. And then unfortunately, as soon as that barrier got taken out, it was just a shame that KO came through and Zoe was perfectly open. Weston going to be trying to hold, almost getting it, but too many abilities are going to make it difficult. All the team is back, though. They're going to have to mount an incredible defense to make their way out, although so far they are showing up, but an incredible redirect is going to negate all of that, and Zoe's just in the perfect position to capitalize on that and score a goal.
Had an Ego showing up here. We also have the Hot Shot, the Rapid Fire, Peak Performance, Team Player. A lot of good stuff, but no more Sparks in this draft. It will be Catalyst for the Kazan. Makes sense. Deadeye going to be picked up here by Sero's a deny against the Aimi. That does leave a lot of other good stuff on the board, and will be Peak Performance getting picked up by Expo-chan. Egoist not getting picked up yet. Team Player going over to Assertive, and Hot Shot on the Luna. Rapid Fire on Asher, and Egoist did not get picked this draft, which is kind of surprising. I would have expected someone to take it, but Power Friendship, I guess, have other plans.
Yeah, I feel like the drafts in general have been pretty surprising, and that's why you want Egoist. You want your dodge available in case you get thrown into setups like that. Either way, though, Power of Friendship making the most of it is going to pick up both barriers. Again, though, going to have to actually capitalize off that power play, and as I say that, Sero has already moved up, scored a goal. Power of Friendship looking to mount their comeback, and well, for their sake, I hope it goes somewhere here.
Yeah, they are in reverse sweep mode right now. Be pretty difficult to climb that hill there, but they definitely can if they just stay consistent. And a nice KO here from Tanky. We'll see Expo-chan taken off the board, and both barriers falling in the power play here. A boost from Tanky against the barrage from Assertive will be enough for Power Friendship to sink it in, as the comeback might be starting here at set point for Power Friendship, 2-0. Have an opportunity to keep this game going.
And Power Friendship also coming in here with the resource advantage. Sero's got flip, Tanky's about to have flip. Weston halfway moves a little too far back. That means the goal is going to go through a very fast, what is that, 10 seconds for that goal? But, well, however long it took, Cyberswipe is saying, nuh-uh, no reverse sweep for you.
Now, Cyberswipe, the ones on the back foot in this set, but looking to close out the series here. Core Flip getting burnt by Sero. Does see Zoe the Witch get staggered, having to run around a little bit here to survive. Gets an orb and should be good, but it's a double barrier. Sneaking right through the center here. Power Friendship looking for the goal. A Core Flip from Tanky McTanky. It's going to find it. 15 seconds in, and Power Friendship, they'll steal the set away. And they'll stay in this one for just a bit longer. The Luna going to be the MVP, and with Sparks available, things could change pretty drastically. Resilience and Missile Prop both showing up here. And with Zoe the Witch not going for a Spark, that could fall pretty decently. That might actually just end up going to Expo Chan here. As Sero not going to deny it. Goes for the Chrono Boost instead. It will be Expo Chan. Now with 2 Sparks plus peak performance. That is loads of speed and loads of stagger on that Aimi. That's kind of scary. So, I mean, yeah, that's definitely an interesting draft. I mean, I think if you're tanky, that's a really hard choice between the Missile Prop or going double Spark to deny a double Spark, you know?
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. Although, admittedly, I feel like that's been one of the more normal drafts so far in this set of games. Unfortunately, though, for Tanky, not going to work out, is going to be taken out. Just a little bit too much damage on the board. Sero and Weston going to have to hold here. Expo Chan and Zoe making a play, but the hold goes through. Tanky is back in time, ready to fight for a grand total of 3 seconds as they are taken off the board yet again. But the barrier is going down. If Sero and Weston hold, they do have a chance here to mount the first point. Just have to hold a little bit longer.
So now jumping in, Expo Chan with the Cyber Swipe. Name of the team will pick up the KO on Weston to sink it in. Flying in from the midfield to make that guy's life a little bit rough right there. That'll be Cyber Swipe starting off strong in this 4th set now. Another one from Expo Chan. From top to bottom, from bottom to top rather. Gonna burn the flip for that KO. And now it's another power play here for Cyber Swipe. Zoe the Witch bringing down that second barrier. Sort of lose track of the core just a little bit there, but Zoe the Witch looking for the point. The crooked leverage going to be good. Weston and Tanky not able to cover the middle in time. And now Cyber Swipe going on a tear to bring this series to a close, 1 point away.
It's interesting because the KO-centric comp feels more like something that Power Friendship went for. But Cyber Swipe, I mean, Expo Chan, you could look back. They were really looking for that kill earlier. They had timed it so perfectly with Zoe. And, well, Tanky already going to be taking a bit of the damage. Going to have to 1v1 Zoe, and Weston does it. But still, the advantage here on Cyber Swipe to try and make this 3rd goal.
Flip here from Weston to try and stay alive. Gets it up to Sero, but Cyber Swipe holding it down. Now Expo Chan on the top side. Zoe the Witch with the core flip available. Sort of pushing up. Crook leverage from Zoe the Witch. Go to the top. Core flip from Expo. Sinks it to the middle. And that is going to be it. Series going to Cyber Swipe. And potentially a playoff spot. It looks like they actually have the head-to-head over Corpse Control. So I think that means that they're in, but I'm not positive on that. We'll have to look at the standings. But either way, good series here. Big win for Cyber Swipe. Yeah, once again, Power Friendship just not quite able to get it done when it mattered. They do have some decent numbers of their own, but Cyber Swipe has been a pretty consistent team all season. Pretty flashy team, so good to see them take it home here. But let's have a look at the standings in just a bit right now. Whenever we get a chance, so we can see our see who makes it to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of interesting choices that game. Well, the games in general, a lot of really good plays though. Those individual moments matter, but what also matters is the kind of like, I don't know, the overall scope of what you're trying to achieve. If anything, I would say Power Friendship had that like KO power, but it kind of felt like, honestly, Cyber Swipe also had that KO power, but also just very powerful core control characters that could move the core around quickly or stuff it with certain abilities. And they had that sometimes with Power Friendship, but not like consistently like someone like Aimi's gonna have. You know, Aimi I'm not saying it was all up to Imi, obviously, but being able to use characters like that for both KO and core control, all I'm saying, is a very powerful asset, and Cyberswipe made full use of that.
Yeah, definitely. They have shown strong synergy throughout the season, and once again, showed it right there. Play some aggressive goalies, some aggressive midfielders. They're just able to constantly keep the pressure up, make it really rough for the other team. But sorry, I'm like messing with stuff.
Hey, I get it.
I'll take a look at the standings so that we can see who's going to the playoffs here. And here we go. Okay, so yeah, there's still a series going on off stream. So some of these that don't add up to 11 are still haven't like been punched in yet. But pretty much it's top 6. So Cyberswipe will be claiming that 6th spot. Oh, it looks like Catmuch Enjoyers just won there, so they're going to be at 7-4 right now. So right now, our top teams: Polar Cortex, Galactic Space Cows. They're guaranteed getting in. Famine, F Corp, Dynasty Party as well are pretty much in. And Catmuch Enjoyers going to be joining them in spot 5, most likely, depending on how Famine F Corp or Dynasty Party, what their records end up looking like. Looks like Famine F Corp now officially finishing 8-3. But Polar Cortex still going undefeated is insane. But yeah, Cyberswipe, they're 6-5. They do have the head-to-head over Corpse Control, so even if Corpse Control win, I'm pretty sure Cyberswipe just get that 6th spot. And that's effectively it. Those are our 6 teams, it looks like, who will be making it to the playoff, unless there's something insane that I'm not aware of. But yeah, there's our playoff picture: Polar Cortex, Space Cows, Famine, Dynasty, Catmunch, and Cyberswipe.
Sounds right to me.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. This is, I think, more or less what we kind of predicted. I think Corpse Control was kind of expected to be in there, but like it's been all season, that sort of middle of the pack set of teams has been really, really competitive. So someone was going to have to get Catmunch, Cyberswipe, and like Dynasty and Corpse Control, and it just ended up being Corpse Control here. So yeah, some really good, some really solid playoff teams for sure. And you know, the big one to watch, of course, Polar Cortex. Is anyone going to beat Polar Cortex, or are they actually just going to make a perfect run through the entire league? That'll have to wait to be seen. But I think playoffs start next week, so same time, same place. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. The schedule will come out at some point, but as far as I'm aware, that's what it is. But that's all from us tonight. It's just that one series. You have anything else before we go, Frying Pan Man?
I want to say I do, but no. I mean, some powerful games make me excited to see what's coming. I want to see if Polar Cortex makes the perfect. I want to see if they get dethroned, and if that's the case, who's going to take it all. But like you said, we'll have to wait a bit for that to be decided. So please come back, check in when Nasty comes back, and we'll give you all the answers soon.
All right, well, that's all from us tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you for playing. Have a good night, everyone, and we will see you in the playoffs.
And shout out Psykeen, y'all. We'll see you later.